We are live again. Hello. And I'm gonna quickly put something up.
We're not putting that up.
Yes,
I am. Well,
this is our cool podcast. It's 25th of August.
Yes, so this would be the 6th podcast.
Yes, and we are going to talk about a topic that we just recently, we watched a Russian video of that was talking about smartphones and brain development.
Oh yeah.
We this is so inappropriate, but I'm gonna change it. I left this video open for this to be up, so we can have a reference later.
Sure.
So this video was talking about the issues that will arise and are already seen in the young people of our generation.
Yeah, mostly generations that spend most of their time on the phone.
Yes,
or technology.
Yes. So the millennials are affected by this, Gen Zs, and the most affected people are going to be the generation Alpha.
Yes,
because
I'm Gen Z.
Yes, me too. But since we didn't grow up
completely surrounded by technology and everything that it gives.
Yeah, and
at least we have a little bit of, I don't know, what it was before.
Yeah,
it started going tech crazy.
Yes. So why is this going to affect Generation Alpha? Exactly like you told, that they are going to be they are going to grow up completely immersed in this culture of
technological world. Yeah,
and 100% of them are going to be affected by this.
Yeah.
Unless their parents completely isolate them from all of this.
Yeah, but then at the same time, it's like, how long can you hold someone away from something? Because if you hold them back, then there is a certain chance that they will want to know what it's all about. And then, like, as we saw in the video, it only takes 3 months in order for someone to feel more like very addicted and even see the bad sides of what technology has to offer.
Yeah. So you have better speaking skills in English, so you might be able to better tell the audience what the video was about.
I mean, yeah, and you can. you can correct me where I misunderstood. Sure.
Yes.
So what we learned was first that the use. So there was I'll just put percentages up on the screen from the video, but it said that the majority of teens and children are in front of cell phones for long periods of time, and this can lead to a decline in intellectual activity, I believe it was. Yes.
Yeah.
Would you want to go a bit?
Okay, so the first 5 minutes of the video was talking about of the Russian guy talking about I think his name was Andrey Kurpatov. Yeah, he was talking about how our brains develop.
Yeah.
In the first 25 years of our life.
Yeah.
And how how the connections are made.
Yeah. So every time you learn something new, there's I believe like the synapse. It's called synapses. I can't say it. Synapses.
Yes.
The brain connections in our brain start to connect and form channels in your brain.
Yes, yes. And there are 3 states in which your brain functions.
Yeah.
The first state was the default state in which your brain is absorbing information. Yes. The second state was when somebody might ask you a question like, what are you thinking about?
Yeah.
And you might answer...
oh, see? Yeah.
Exactly. You might answer to them that, oh, I am not really thinking about anything, but at that point of time, you are actually thinking about everything. Really.
Yeah, that's why you normally say nothing, because there's so much you could say.
Yeah.
So your brain is actually thinking, and you're not actually thinking of nothing, which is kind of a weird reverse.
Because our brain can't connect the decision making part and the language part of our
brains, basically.
Yeah, there isn't a connection between those. So that's why you sometimes can't really express your emotion, feeling, whatever it is. And the third state of thinking is when I think it's called the active use of
like
brain.
Actual thinking, probably meaning like the critical thinking stage.
Yes.
Actually, probably what you're going through when you're trying to write a university paper. You have to think very hard, and you have to think about trying to get information from others and trying to develop it so it develops like a point that you're trying to make in your work.
Yes.
That's like the full-on thinking stage.
Yeah. So there are these 3 stages of thinking, and for your brain to switch from one mode to the other, it takes approximately 23 minutes.
23 minutes, that's right, yeah.
And the alarming part is that in the modern society, young people are so immersed in
technology.
That there were these graphs like
I'll put them up.
Yeah.
It was that experiment they did with the cell phones in the room. Yeah. They told them to
there were 3 groups.
3 groups, yeah. So it was an activity where they had to do something like maybe even writing or doing a test, and there were 3 people. One that would have their phone in front of them, like next to them, so that they could see it in plain view.
But with the screen up?
With the screen up, yeah. And then they had one with the screen down, and then they had another one that was either like very far away out of the room. They didn't have their phone with them.
Yes.
And they found that I think they measured cognitive, intellectual like activity.
Yes.
And they found that people that had it with the phone up had less, and then the middle ground was when they had it face down, because you can still see the phone, so that meant that you still have a connection to it, and like you want to know what's on the screen. If anything, it makes it worse, because you're like wondering more about what the screen is showing. And then
this is our hypothesis, by the way.
True. Yes. Disclaimer. And then there was also the highest bar graph that said that they had more intellectual activity when the phone was not in the room. Which makes total sense, because when you're wanting to like do your homework or do anything and you have all these distractions, that's why it leads to probably doing it last minute, or like because you're more involved in the technology side and wanting to understand what's going on your phone rather than focusing and as we said before, waiting the 23 minutes to like. That's why at the same time you find it very hard to get into work because you're in that subconscious kind of absorbing, like you want to absorb information, so you're there like, and that's why you feel very kind of agitated because you're like, why am I not thinking yet? But they say 23 minutes on average.
There is that exclaimer that you need those 23 minutes for one mode to switch to another. So the alarming part is that in the graphs they showed that about the average user of a smartphone has about 78 sessions per day. And 76 sessions per day, and interruptions of about 15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes, there is a distraction.
And so the top 10%, I think there was like the worst offenders. I think there was like a top 10%. They had 138 sessions per day, and 8.5 interruptions every 8.5 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
It wouldn't be seconds. That would be blowing up the phone. But
so that means that your brain, that our brain is
constantly under fire from distraction.
We don't have the time to switch from one mode to the other because we are...
Did he also explain, I don't know if I understood, but like if you're waiting for the 23 minutes, just waiting, but if you're waiting for the change to happen, once the interruption happens, does that reset the clock?
Yes.
That sucks.
Yes, that's exactly what happens. And the interruption is, you might get a message in WhatsApp or Instagram or just a notification, and you and so you look at the phone and then you take
absorb information.
Yes,
that's fascinating.
Yes, also scary.
It's also scary, because that's why. That's probably why when you decide to do something last minute, you have a bit of a stress out. Like you go, oh my God, I have to do this. You probably do it for 23 minutes and then you go, I need to do this now. I need to concentrate. And you just throw everything aside because you're like, needs to happen now. It needs to be happen at high quality, and then you don't think about it. You just concentrate.
And and that is actually one thing about procrastination, of doing everything in the last minute. That's why the things that you do in the last minute sort of
stick more, I guess.
Work out, because when you do things at the last minute, you throw everything away. Like everything else goes into the
box.
The box.
Everything goes into a I can't even say it now. Compartmentalized box. Like everything's in a box. But that's also I don't even know the statistics of this. I just understand the concept. But people got very jealous of others. So they would so one group would just look at their notes for doing the test, and they would be doing it for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then never remember it on the day. But then you would have some people that would just cram information into their head, like just before the exam, and they do much better because it's visually, I mean, I guess it depends on what your learning style is, because it can be visual, auditory, kinesthetic, but maybe for visual learners, it's like it's in your head. You can remember it because you only did it a short while ago. I mean, I'm still even trying to think about what my learning style is, and I think it's visual. Like, you remember things more as like a picture, or like auditory, you remember things by hearing or listening, or, oh, I remembered that once because I heard it. Or you remember things through movement. So like,
I think for me it's also visual, because
Visual is the most common one, I believe.
yeah, because when I had to remember the numbers, I immediately had like almost the same, like the percentages and graphs in my head, like I visually saw them. Yeah. So this shows how many.
Oh yeah, the percentage of kids that are online.
Yeah, under
all
10
the time.
Yeah, basically Russia and USA are in the first places. US is actually in the first place. Russia is in the second. So these show how many people are
constantly online, and it seems like it increases as kids get older, as you can see by the statistics, that from Russia under 10, kids under 10, and then it increases by like 28%. Like that's like more than a fifth. So, but yeah, this is information that is available, and it's, I'll put, like a link in the description from where we got it from. And it is, from 2018, which makes it, information that is not old. It's very current.
Also, 87% of users check their phone at least once from 1 to 5 a.m.
I know I do that.
I know
I'm guilty.
I know that I do not do this. No, I don't do this any longer.
I'm very guilty. Yeah.
Because I do not stay up that long anymore. I need my sleep. I'm actually feeling pretty tired right now because it's almost 12 o'clock.
Yes.
At night, I mean.
I like doing things at night, so I'm like a bad influence.
Me too,
but yeah, you can definitely see that. Well, you'll learn from later graphs that, you know, a definite change needs to be put in place. Otherwise, you're basically limiting your own potential. So yes, and we've explained these numbers before, the amount of sessions and disruptions from people that are on phones lots of the time versus average amount of time.
Yeah, and the reason why this sort of behavior happens of checking your phone is because of this. You either do a harder or a simpler task. Like, what is more simple to do? To read
a actual paper, peer-reviewed paper, or Instagram.
Yeah, you know.
Their example was Kim Kardashian.
Yeah. And then this is because our brains conserve energy, and they are built to do that. And this was very helpful for people in the past, but at the moment I think it's actually a downfall for us.
I mean, it's being on Instagram for long periods of time, as we mentioned about earlier about the states of mind. One of them was the state of feeling like you're absorbing information and being in a hibernation state.
Yeah.
So being on Instagram is actually other streaming platforms and other stuff like that. We're not only attacking Instagram, but we're just saying that anything that is just, you know, phone related or technology related is definitely limiting. Limiting.
And this shows the same thing we just told about how our brain conserves energy, because it actually uses 20% of our total energy that our bodies make.
Yeah.
And this is all being used. Not like used, but is being how would you say, like when companies are companies are supporting this because
well, it goes in their favor, doesn't it?
Yeah, they are competing, and
yes. Well, because the whole point of social media is to get loads of clicks and loads of attention. Yes. So the whole thing is that they have found that if you give this sort of content, this as they say, growth of primitive content. Yes. So this content is making this content is good for the companies because it makes us want to watch it and like it and basically grow their numbers. But I mean,
in the long term, it's not great.
Yeah.
Then came the results of the test. So the key problems of the modern human being. So the first one was increase of the amount of information consumed and change of its format leads to decline in the quality of intellectual activity. This is what to do with the test of the three groups.
Yes. The second point.
Decentralization of society and the disappearance of vertical social connections. We actually had to look up what vertical social connections
mean. Don't have to. And we found out what that really meant was, so first bit of that is decentralization of society, which means society is being split up into different, like basically different social groups, like...
two different social groups. Yes. Ones that are constantly on the phone and basically dumbing themselves.
And others that are doing basically the opposite.
Yeah.
And then the disappearance of virtual social connections.
Vertical.
And we looked it up, and what we understand from it is that, in terms of how the family tree works, you have vertical and horizontal connections. So vertical would mean that you have your grandparents, you have your parents, you have you, and
your children.
So you have a vertical relationship with basically it's your like the generations going up and down, and then you would have horizontal, which is like your friend groups and your friends, your adult friends, everything like that. So those
girlfriends,
are
wives, boyfriends, husbands,
I think sisters, brothers.
Yeah.
So
also,
that's the horizontal versus vertical. So the key problems with the modern human being to do with having too much being on the phone leads to a decline in quality of education.
And I guess we'll have to talk about this a bit later, but from our understanding, what we brought out of this vertical social connections is that when you if your parents are not using the phone like you are, and they are sort of left behind,
even like grandparents and parents, like the whole generation of, like, I feel like what's going to happen with us then is that as maybe even generation alpha, beta, whatever happens next, they're going to have all these new fancy technologies that we probably wouldn't even care about, because the technologies that we are used to we're just going to keep using that. But maybe not. I don't know. It's a bit of a strange one right now, because new technology is coming out, and for me, I'm always aware of what technology is coming out. But if we're thinking about it in terms of extremes, then like our grandparents, for example, they wouldn't probably use the phone that much, or even if they they've been through that era, but they haven't really had a full understanding yet. So that relationship with the phone is not as strong as what we are used to having a relationship on the phone.
Yes, and the decline in the quality of education, that would probably have to do with how much do you learn from your parents,
and also like maybe even the quality of well, that's kind of like, it could be multiple things. I mean, decline in quality of education could even mean seeing as our grandparents or probably don't have the same sort of technological understanding as we do. That is also like a decline in quality of education as well.
Also, like if you have a phone in your school or whatever, and
that can also, yeah,
that could also mean that. Okay, the third thing is that change in the ways of communication would lead to increased digital addiction, digital autism, decrease in the level of emotional intelligence. And
yes,
actually, I might
go back to the slide on
digital
autism. I mean, it is very strongly worded, but the way that they explain it, it's not like it's basically what happens when you're on technology so much that you become less self-aware. So
here is what digital autism is. So urge to check social media constantly, even when being with friends and family or just nice people.
Yes.
You can already see this in like when you're at the dinner table with your family and you're whatever
checking your phone, but like it's even portrayed as like of somebody not being self-aware when like they even do it in American TV shows where there's a date going on and then someone puts their phone on the table. Like putting the phone on the table just completely shows lack of awareness of the feelings of the other person that you would want to connect with. I mean, you went through all this effort of trying to get to know the other person, and it's kind of a slap in the face to be like, oh, as we talked about before, and they even say in the video, it basically shows that the other person doesn't mean as much to you as the phone does, and that it even shows that they are actively like replaceable, that they are not important and anyone on the phone can replace them because it's easier. Like, that even goes in with another point.
Yeah. So not understanding feelings of other people and not caring. This might be... wait, I need to read this again. Not understanding feelings of other... Okay, so yeah, just like you said, it's sort of a slap in the face.
Yes, it's basically showing major unawareness and also taking it as far as because you're on your phone a lot of the time, it kind of... This is actually my opinion, by the way, so this might not be true, but the fact is that every time you do something that pleases you, you get the serotonin levels rise in you, and that's like the feel-good drug. So just seeing someone like you might only be self-absorbed with the feelings of getting it from the phone, that you kind of forget that other people, like the kind of things, the feelings that other people have, and it can come across as not caring because the phone is more important.
Yeah. Lack of events and emotions in real life. So this has the correlation with the first question that he posed, like which is more appealing for you to look at the paper or at the
at the Instagram, or Kim Kardashian,
because in one you clearly have some sort of way to learn things, and in the other you're just watching other people have fun, right, and you're not experiencing anything really. So you're just
but it can even be as simple as interpreting it in terms of if you're on your phone, then you're missing out on opportunities that are happening in the actual real life. Like, if you're only on your phone, then you might even miss out the opportunity to create new friends, have new opportunities. Like, there might be even something going on, like, I don't know, you might go to the park with your phone, but you'll never even realize that there's like this kind of this inner beauty that you're too focused on something else.
And lack of emotions, this also is explained like in in a way, when we've all seen those motivational / couple goals, probably. Those posts.
the fake real, like the kind of what your life is supposed to be posts.
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't you have this? Why don't you have that?
Yeah, and you are predisposed to these
fake expectations, like false expectations.
False expectations, exactly. And you expect other people to work that way, but they don't work that way, because it's just well, some people might, but you know, every human is different.
Right.
Every human has their own experience in life, and if you think that you're you know.
And that also, like, there's this acronym, I think it's acronym, I know, but like people that feel like they are not displaying the same sort of, so you know how, as you said, you have, there's this false expectation of having a car and having the best house, and and that all just stems from fear, like the fear of not belonging. Like, this is a whole, like, kind of, we have this clan culture of always wanting to be the best and following someone that is the best. And there's this acronym that I know for fear, which is false expectations appearing real. Like, that fear, false expectations appearing real.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how I remember it, because every time that you're in fear, it's just this false expectation. It's not truly what you believe in. It's kind of your it's someone else's story that you've placed in, like, as yours, which creates fear, because then as soon as you're knocked off course, then you have uncertainty, and then you don't know what to do. So you grab the next thing that gives you certainty, which is someone else's story, which then stops you from actually having the self-awareness to understand what your real story is, like what your real passions are, because you're so focused on other false expectations,
and other people's
this lack of exactly.
Okay, not being interested in certain people, they can be easily replaced.
This is fascinating, because I just realized I do that, because it is so easy to do that now. Like Tinder, for example. I mean, I recently...
For how long have you had Tinder?
for the last couple of days I've been on Tinder, and it's one of those things. The funny thing is that I put like on everything. I like people. I like
then if they talking. Like you back,
then I have a
you
chance.
Start sieving.
Well, yeah,
sieving through everyone.
You can sieve, but like it's just you know, if someone likes you back and then you find out that they are not on the same level or not the same values as you, then you have every right to just say, this is not for me right now. Good luck.
So there is no determination.
But I'm just thinking in terms of the Tinder thing, my whole spiel about that was the fact that not being interested in certain people, the fact that it's so easy just to say don't like, and then there's also like that YouTube trend of like smash or pass, that silly little game where it's like they show a person, it doesn't matter if they're intellectual, it is not based on that, it's based on looks, and also so being interested in certain people, so don't like, I can find someone better. So you can see how that fits.
If a person is not in your like
comfort zone as well,
or just not like following your Instagram profile or your Facebook page, no, we're not liking him because he's not liking us. And
well, yeah. I mean, I also believe that it's also to do with how the expectations of so like external stimuli makes it so people see each other in a different light. So for example, I mean, you can believe this if you want. I believe this like a little bit, just enough, but like the whole believing in star signs connecting with each other. I mean, there probably is some truth to that. I'll put my hands up for that. But the fact is that if you're only basing all your relationships just on star sign, like what's your star sign? Mine's Cancer.
Mine's October.
Mine's October. I don't know. We can look it up. But if for example, some people may say Libra.
Yeah.
Which do you know what kind of sign it is, like fire or water or?
No, it's like scales or something.
Oh, God, I can't believe that I don't know Libra. Libra's a snake, right? No. I don't know Libra.
They evaluate.
The scales. Yes. Wow, I look like I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so for example, you can say, so one of my friends is a Pisces, right? It's the two fish. Some people may say that we were meant to be friends with each other because I'm a water sign, I'm a crab, and he's a water sign and he's a fish. So that means that we are supposed to be connected and that we have a strong bond. Fine. But I had this experience where one of my friends asked me what one of my signs was, like what my moon was, and I said the wrong thing. So I said that I was a Capricorn or something, so Cancer and a Capricorn moon or something. And she immediately looked at me and went, "We can't be friends." And I went, "Wow, at this party you're telling me that we can't be friends?" Okay, right, fair enough. So then I'm like, I got a little bit offended by this because when I was younger I was much more sensitive. So I look up.
Oh no, I'm a sperm whale.
I'm a sperm whale. I found out what my sign was, and I go back to her and I say what my actual star sign was, and she immediately just changed her tune and said, "Oh, we can be friends now." What kind of thing is that? Like, that sort of, oh, you're kind of replaceable. It's the same sort of thing. Like, if you're not the same, then, we can't be friends. Which is, like, even if we just took out star signs completely and just said, "Would you like to be friends with me?" regardless of star signs, and maybe even focused on values, like, the possibilities are endless.
Also with the, easily replaced because we now have so many connections. What's wrong?
I just want to make sure that it didn't make noise. I wanted to check the light was on.
It's on. Always been on.
Very good.
Okay.
We have a very cheeky cable that could tear out at any time. Yes.
And also with the easily replaced thing, it's easy to replace a person when you live in a world in which you can connect to almost everyone at any time.
Exactly.
And it's easy to find new connections. You don't have to make an effort like in the 1700s or whatever.
But you can definitely see how digital autism can affect your emotional mood even from that. So, like, what happens if in this scenario you didn't get as many friends as you thought you would, then you would immediately think there's something wrong with you, even though all it really was just the timing was off, or maybe they were making lunch while they were, like, they didn't swipe right on you or something, there's so many external possibilities of why, but because it's easier to think about it in terms of, like, A equals B, it completely creates this kind of phenomenon. It's crazy
because it's also those apps don't show why did the person
they are limiting that. They're making it seem like in order for you to get that you need to pay money, which is crazy. I mean there are dating apps that do the same thing, but for an example, because I'm using Tinder. Tinder's still a good, reputable site. I recommend it. But they do have... You can or can't. I don't know.
Sure, whatever.
But I'm just saying that now, in order for you to be able to see if the other person has seen your message, you have to be a premium member. That kind of gets me on, like, this kind of, did she see it, didn't she see it? But that's kind of the attitude of what's happening now. But if you're thinking about it in a mindful sense, if she picked you and swiped right on you, that means that they have this sort of, like, oh, I want to get to know this person.
Because
I'm just thinking like
description or a profile
well, yeah.
picture?
So on Tinder it is just.
I don't know how
picture.
Tinder works.
Oh,
and I've
let
never
me
used
explain.
it.
So it just has a picture, a description of your choosing. You type your own description, and then it even shows like if you wanted to connect your Instagram or your favorite song. Like that's all it really is, and you normally swipe left or right slightly.
And do you have like any facts, like factual information about yourself?
That's
like your age or location or whatever.
If you type it in the bio, it is literally just name, your age, how far away you are, and the description. But you type your description. It's not like a pre-made thing from questions that they ask you at the beginning of your profile. So if for whatever reason they swipe right on you and they have this connection with you, then how I see it is if you're more self-aware of the fact that they have an interest in you and like not thinking about when am I going to get the next serotonin hit when they send the message to me and show me attention, then that is so much better. Like it's a much better way of dealing with it rather than thinking A to B, like logistically, I need to get message to be happy. Why is it not this person has an interest in me? I should like let them, get to know me better. So I feel like it's all a difference in mindset.
Okay, easier not to interact with people than to adapt to their personalities.
Yeah, that definitely leads on to what we were talking about. Like people with this sort of mood believe that you can just immediately, if it's as simple as you don't like coffee, you don't like pineapple on pizza. Block. You're done. You're finished. I will never get to know you and anything that you're about. I love that whole thing of the whole the pineapple on pizza thing. That is like such a risky question. Like I get goosebumps still when people ask me like, do you like pineapple on pizza? I do like pineapple on pizza. Yes, I'm a bad person. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, I just love the fact that as soon as that comes up, sweat. It's like a bomb has gone off and you have to like there's a bomb there and you have to be like, yes, no,
well,
yes,
no. You're very much affected by this.
Exactly.
So,
but then if you realize, if you don't take it too much to heart, basically, if you say, well, it depends on how mature each of you are. Like if you just go, I like pineapple on pizza.
But listen. If you are affected by this, like personally, towards you, if somebody asks you that question, then I'm 99% sure that the same applies also to you. If you ask some sort of a question, let's say,
of course,
if you,
it works both ways.
Yeah. So it's, because I'm saying it from my own experience.
Right.
And, that's just how I feel. And it's way easier to just, dump a person because the values don't easy values don't or just
match
or just basic like things that they do. Oh, I like American football. Oh, I like soccer. I guess we're not meant
not meant to be together, even though that's like the smallest minute part. Yeah,
because it's
exactly
easier.
What I'm saying,
it might be easier to find
someone that's closer than to try and adapt. That's what they're trying to say here, to interact with people. Easier not to interact with people than to adapt, because I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty to adapt to personalities. Yeah. Like I mean,
the more you communicate, the more you learn.
Yeah, I mean, we can even talk about it in like a later podcast, but there's like this model of 6 human needs of wanting to be certain and to also avoid being uncertain. So if someone's driven only by certainty and they want everything to go their way, then it's just, you can see how it is easier just to not adapt and just have the certainty that there is someone else out there that is easier to talk to. Exactly, yeah.
So next one, easier to interact via messengers than in person.
There is a certain power that you get when you're behind a screen, because that's why most people don't like to be in person with somebody, because they believe that they get the fear of that someone's going to think of them in like a wrong way. But if you're behind a screen, then you can easily just block them. Like, you mess it up, screw it, it's fine. Like
I've actually, this is a meme, but I've actually experienced this in my own real life. When you talk dirty or naughty to a girl on the text messages, and then you meet in the real life and you feel very awkward. You don't actually want to say those things
no, of course not.
I've actually experienced this lots of times.
Right. I mean, there is definitely, I've had experiences where, you know how you have the quiet kid in class? Like, you have the quiet one that doesn't want to talk to people. I've actually been friends with those quiet people, but normally behind a screen. Like, as soon as there's a screen, they will talk, and they've got all these ideas, they've got all this stuff going on, and they want to tell somebody. But as soon as it becomes real life interaction, then it gets a bit complicated. I guess it's more like social cues and trying to thinking and interacting in real life is more complicated, because I mean, I can't even remember the percentages, but there was that pie chart of how much communication is actually said through words, through speech, and through nonverbal communication. And I believe, hopefully I'm right on this, it is the highest percentages through your body language. Mm-hmm. And then second is how you say it. And the third thing is whatever I said was the third thing. Because I can't remember, my brain just went fuzzy. Anyway. Written. So that is basically how somebody would see you through nonverbal communication, which gets very complicated. Because you would have to get it right, and do I look good? Do I look right? And then you have to even go on to the second part of do I say it right? Did I write? But if you're behind a screen, it's probably much easier for some people to type, because typing, you can use words and really describe what you're talking about. Also, you don't you don't have to use all of your body language to impress another. With my chest out. Exactly. Yeah. You can just say it through words. Yeah. But I mean, it all has its limitations to only using text versus actually being in real life. That's why people want to do interviews for jobs in person. They want to see how you come across. Your CV, you could type anything on your CV. You could say you're a motivational hard worker. I am punctual. I'm on time. And sometimes they do the telephone interview just to to see how you speak, so that how you come across as as you wrote. And then the third step is that you go in person, so that they can understand how you come across. Is your back straight? Are you, showing them the real you, instead of just this kind of slouchy, kind of nervous, don't really know what you're talking about. Exactly, but in your CV, you said that you're the best. You're super confident, and exactly. They see you in real life. You're all slouched up. And I mean, it's all that is definitely the limitation of only using text as your medium of choice. Yes. So yes, and digital autism is due to the fact that you're online nearly all of the time. Yeah. Being on the phone, it's not constantly on the phone. It's actually a magic circle. It's a reason. It's the reason for digital autism, but it's also the cause of it. The cause of it too, yeah. Continuing to be on it. Yeah. Yeah. It starts with it, as they mentioned before. They even did a test where they gave phones to people that have never really used technology the way that, I guess, generations like us have been using it, like Instagram and social media. And within those 3 months, they found that they did the test for 3 months. Right? Yeah, it was for 3 months. Yeah, and they found out that they had increased levels of aggression, depression, just unhappiness in general. due to the fact that they felt like they needed to kind of follow this rule book. Like as soon as you get online, there's like this rule book that you need to follow, and if you don't, then like you're considered a failure, that sort of thing.
Basically online world is another world.
I mean, it's a dog eat dog situation. I mean, it's a fight for popularity. It's a fight for trying to be heard. That's like a big thing. People always want to be heard and recognized, listened to. And if they don't, then they feel like they're not being listened to, which leads to them feeling that sort of strong emotional, like sadness of not feeling a connection with people. Serotonin levels start lowering because they start to realize that they're getting left behind, that sort of thing.
This is why it's a circle.
That's why it's a circle. It's a
it starts with it, and then it perpetually.
Yeah, it escalate. It will probably escalate as well.
So the fourth point of the key problems of the modern human being. So, general hedonistic attitude and lack of the ability to build a model of the future.
Yes.
So this is I don't know what hedonistic means, but the ability, the lack of the ability to build a model of the future. All of this.
Yes.
Sitting in the phone, looking at memes or whatever, it just creates this short-term thinking.
Yes.
A person gradually is losing their ability to think long-term.
And think for themselves. I mean, I even have the definition for hedonistic. Engaged in the pursuit of pleasure, and to basically be feeling self-indulgent, which basically happiness. So yes, if we go back to general hedonistic attitude and lack of the ability, so
it's basically narcissism.
Narcissism is more of not feeling what others feel and like feeling like you don't have an understanding of how other people feel.
There's sociopathy and then there's narcissism. Sociopathy is the lack of empathy towards others, and you see yourself as the greatest or whatever.
Right. But it sounds very close to narcissism.
But narcissism is when you see yourself as the best, but you still sort of have that empathy towards others.
Yes. They fall in love with their own self-image.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. And if we put that all together, yes, so the ability to build the model of a future, as you said, only being on your phone and kind of putting yourself in this technology box, like you're basically placing yourself in a box and only thinking that A equals B. Like that's just the kind of linear thinking of there is nothing outside of just enjoying this. I mean, there is situations where being in the present's great and all, but like if you're thinking about what your passions are, what you think like this, I keep saying this word of self-awareness.
You have to enjoy the moment, but it has to be organic.
Right. Exactly. So building a model for the future. So this is like really reaching inside yourself and really understanding what your passions are, what you enjoy. But if you're only gaining pleasure from something that is as trivial as just being on the phone or following someone else's dream, then you're basically limiting yourself in terms of what your own dreams are and what you feel like you're capable of. I mean, yes, it's all well and good trying to follow this kind of American dream or focusing on trying to be like those top influencers that want to have the nice car and the nice house. But I mean, you really would have to think about like, is this truly what you think is what you would like? I mean, even in terms of yeah, like, is this, I mean, even in terms of like, yes. So basically just bottom line, like just locking yourself in a box and just thinking that that's all that is versus really thinking outside of the box. Like A does not always equal B. It can, and the road and journey of life is full of ups and downs as well.
Exactly.
So it's never linear.
Yeah. It's not just the start and the end of the journey. There is the middle
bit. Exactly. And it's the roller coaster.
The road.
I mean, we can even explain this in the episode to do with, human needs and that sort of thing. But, there was a guy that only believed in linear thinking, and only because he was a guy that believed in utter certainty. Like he only believed in what is life? It is just going from A to B and that's it. That's all. But that's not what life is. A leads to B, leads to C, D, E, F, G, up, down, Y, Z. Like the whole alphabet's not in order. It's like A to F. Or whatever. It doesn't work the way that some people believe it works. So the fact that some people limit themselves just by thinking in a small box leads to this kind of
decrease
feeling.
Of motivation, hope for easy success, and a lack of tolerance for failures.
Exactly. Lack of tolerance for failures. Like, this is why people believe that, if they don't get it right first time, that means they're stupid. There's something wrong.
They're doomed.
They're doomed. That's it. That's all. I mean, if we're talking about stories of thinking, lack of tolerance for failures. So when I was in secondary school, this is in England, we have GCSEs. So this is the certificate, that basically gets you onto a great college. I got all C's and I even got a D, in English language and, a D in French or something like that. So this kind of, is not great. It's not all A's and it's not all B's or whatever. So immediately I'm thinking I'm a failure. Like I'm not going to get anywhere with this. But this is the thing about life. Life is there's always a possibility. There is always a way. And even if it's not what you think it's going to be, I mean, all you need to do is just visualize what you would like to happen and just think about the journey of getting there. Because as soon as I realized, hey, there is actually there's a college that, I really like. It looks nice. So I want to get, like, these grades, can I use them? Like I had 7 C's or something like that. 7 C's, 7 C's, like this rhyme, whatever. Oh, yeah, that's a really bad joke. Right. So I had 7 C's. Inappropriate. I had 7 C's. God. I was trying to be motivational. So I had 7 C's and that was enough to get into the university. And they even said to me, hey, I know that you want to do this course that you want to do, but like it's not going to be possible. Would you like to do something else? And I'm like, okay, I wanted to do psychology, by the way. Ooh. They didn't let me do psychology. So with my English, so I basically said, okay, IT, information technology, computers, that doesn't require much. I want to do science. They said that they will give me science if I retake my English in college. And if I get a C, then I just continue the course as normal. So I did IT, I did science, and I did statistics. Because in England, if you're going to do 2 BTECs, so BTECs are coursework-based subjects, not exam-based. So in order to have those 2 BTECs, I also needed to do an A-level. I had to do an A-level in statistics because I thought I did maths really well. I got a U in statistics. That means unmarked. That means it's so bad that the teacher could not even be asked to mark it. So imagine how I'm feeling right then. Oh my God, I'm a failure. I'm not going to get anywhere. How am I going to get into my second year? Always away, roller coaster, not A to B. It's always A to whatever. So boom, throwaway statistics. It's not on my CV anymore. That doesn't even need to be there because it was a pointless thing just to get into the university. I didn't even enjoy it. It's just a thing that I stuck through just so I can get a place. So I threw that out. What can I do instead? This is the sort of mindset that you would need instead. You need to have a mindset, a growth mindset of what can I do to fix the problem in this moment. If you wanted to go into your second year, there's a band-aid that you can put on your kind of college journey if you fail as badly as I did for my A-level. Mm-hmm. I decided to do a first year. So college in the UK is 2 years. So I did a first year subject. So I had to be in a classroom full of first years as I am a second year student. So I was a second year student back then. So I was a second year student in a first year class and I did media production because it didn't need anything special. I just wanted to have fun. I wanted to learn how to edit. I wanted to learn how to make movies. It sounded fun. Mm-hmm. So even though I knew that this journey was uncertain, it didn't matter to me because all that really matters is that you enjoy the journey that you create for yourself.
Exactly.
So I finished university, got really good grades because I did stuff that I liked and I knew that I would get good grades in. I got into university and I did a course that I liked. Not to mention the fact that it was a non-exam course. You do not have to get a course that only does exams. Mm-hmm. You can get coursework-based courses. It's always just about finding a way. So going back to this, if you're only thinking about life as this linear journey, then you're always going to think that you're a failure because you have this lack of tolerance for failure. But failure is like the spice of life. It's like the thing that makes you go, oh, I need to think about this for a second. So it's all just about mindset and realizing that you have so much more potential than you think.
Okay, so hope for easy success. I can tell a bit about this one myself because, great things don't come in short periods of time.
Right.
Great things need time. Also, there is a saying that if you I need to quickly remember this. If you want to
you can even look it up if you want. I can literally just edit this bit out.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly look into the journal of wisdom. This is the wrong one.
No, you need to get the other gospel out.
I have like 2 journals that I wrote for myself to remember stuff. Penalty of risk is the probability of loss.
I get it. It took me a lot of running it over in my head. I totally get that. Yes. That's also the same as...
hope for easy success. Because you might, think that, I might start investing in stuff, in the stock market, let's say, and you just randomly would pick something, or maybe you do a little bit of research or a lot of research, and still you would push your whole life savings into a single stock, and the next month the company goes bankrupt and you lose everything because the probability of
eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
For one.
Yeah. Also that, but yeah, penalty of risk is the probability of loss. That's that's the law.
I mean, there is always an element of risk in everything. It's just how you go about trying to understand, basically just kind of understand the risk as well. I mean, some risks are low and some risks are high. It just depends on, I mean, I even saw this thing, I can't
But that's what this says, hope for easy success.
I also think it's like, a thing that most of our generation is, I mean, this is what grandparents, the cliche grandparents thing, where the grandparents feel like that generation anything after millennials or something like that, we believe that everything should come easy to us. Like, why isn't, I think it's all to do with convenience. It's all to do with how we have this kind of growing need for everything to be convenient and everything to, like, for example, Amazon can deliver anything to you now. Like, the pizza delivery, it's not only place that can deliver, but like food delivery, like everything has been built around this whole aspect of convenience. So this is why, hoping for easy success. So like, it can even be broken down into like, the success being trying to get something that you want.
Or maybe it's also connected to impatience.
Also that. Well, that's how everything kind of grows, because the value of wanting things to be convenient, people are impatient, they get angry. Why isn't this happening? Someone thinks this is a moment to give them what they want so that you can. So this is exactly what the social media platforms are doing with the primitive. Oh,
the stories from all the motivational speakers that are, well, actually fake motivational speakers.
Because they do exist.
Like Tayo Cruz, for example. Oh, hey, you want to make 2-3 million a month? Well, follow my guidebook or whatever he makes. Like his,
I mean, it does seem like everything is reduced down to like a recipe. I mean,
yeah,
you can use a recipe because, I mean,
it's convenient.
It's convenient, and also, but I mean, if you want to get the same results that they did, then you would follow the exact same rules. But I feel like that for me, you can't. But that's the element of risk there, because you're not the person that created the recipe. Also, because you don't have the mindset that they had. Like, they might have had some tough knocks, like, brought to them, which made them feel motivated to really go next level. Like, if someone had a different mindset, but also followed the same rules, it might not, like, that's why you have at the end the disclaimer that you may lose money or you may gain money, you may lose money, but that's not our fault because we're the people that provide the recipe. I mean, it's the same as baking a cake. Like, you can bake it. I'm going to sound so rich. In my lovely apartment, I made a midnight snack of risotto. I made risotto.
Think that's that rich.
I don't know. It's one of those like things where it's considered a very formal dish.
To me, it just tasted like rice with like.
It tastes delicious.
Rice with what was that little
chicken
cube?
Stock.
Yeah,
What it is if you break it down. I mean, pasta is just eggs and flour. Like, it's all it is. But like this recipe that I followed, like. Obviously, it did the results that they did, but you can take things that they say, like, literally or not literally. Like, they said to me, medium heat, I maybe put it on high heat.
Even the rice, they have multiple types of rice, and they taste different.
Which can taste different, cook different. So it's all really thinking about, I mean, if we're tying it back to the easy success, and it also even goes to the lack of tolerance of failures. Like, thinking that everything should come easy, or things that should be convenient, and then they don't come, then you get angry at the fact that it's considered a failure and that you're not tolerant to that failure. I mean, this is all to do with this whole big living in a box. Like, this is why this whole big living in a simulation thing. That's just because.
Oh, hold on. Let's not go into.
I'm not saying in terms of the actual, like, people believe that they're living in this. I'm talking about it in terms of we are living in this sort of mental box of, like, the fake following influences thing. This sort of like stuck in the box simulation of what life is meant to be.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I meant. Not like the whole like reptilian thing. Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about. But yeah, like this, it all connects together.
So at the end, this will lead to feelings of loneliness, injustice, meaninglessness of existence, abstract humanism,
and its forms. Yeah. I mean, it's evident that those things happen when you kind of lock yourself away from what I would say is reality, like what the actual reality is. You start to feel lonely. You start to feel like everything is against you because people are expressing themselves, and because everyone's expressing themselves on a social media platform, some people are going to bound to disagree. So there's going to feel this kind of social injustice. People aren't being heard. That's an injustice. The meaninglessness of existence, because they feel like,
even as far as to create their own hate towards other certain
and like this agenda, they create their own agendas
and other groups of people. For example, in Latvia, there. I'm sorry if this might offend someone, but
I mean, it is, you're entitled to your own
but
opinion.
In Latvia we don't have that many like black people or whatever.
Right. I mean, right, yeah, totally. I mean, I you can physically see that. Like, if you walk down the street, you're not going to see a mix of people. You're going to see primarily white. It's just a fact.
And yet, when the whole thing with that guy in the US who was killed by a cop, I think he was choked or whatever.
Oh, right, that the big like thing that happened.
Yeah.
The news story.
In Latvia, some people went to the governmental facilities to protest against racism in Latvia.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, there might be like some signs of it. Like, for example, there is this guy Felipe Gabriel in Latvia.
Okay.
He's Brazilian, I think, but he now lives in Latvia and can fluently speak in Latvian. And he, in like multiple videos, he told like how in Latvia people notice him more.
Right.
Obviously, he would be noticed more because he's like one in a 1 million, maybe. Well,
I
not
mean,
1 million, but one, you know,
if you have
5,000,
lots of the same, and then a majority of something that is different to the like overall thing, you're gonna be noticed. Like,
of course,
like,
but he never said that like anyone's been aggressive towards him because he's like dark skinned.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really make sense to, because I don't even think that there has been any. I mean, considering any like beef, there's been no kind of confrontation.
There isn't
any confrontation. Exactly.
If it might seem like there is, then it's just like
it's based
one or two crackheads that probably
misunderstanding or something.
Yeah, just a few people don't make the majority. Exactly.
Right.
So as a result of all of this,
it creates these pillars of just absolute awful, of awful negative fear, pain, even the whole meaningfulness of existence. Like,
yes,
that's what happens if you trap yourself in a social media box. You completely forget that there is a world out there with nature, connecting with nature, people, thinking of people not as the color of their skin or their clothes, like just seeing them as what they are, the skin and blood, like the connection of basically humanity. Like, that's, I still am shocked that people only see people by these symbols. Like, it's kind of like, they're only seeing them for this kind of outer shell, but not really connecting with what's inside,
like in
as in like
archetypes or whatever.
I'm thinking I don't know that word.
Archetype is like what you presume.
I'm thinking like if someone's stuff is like based on someone's, like, even their stuff. Like, you think they are this because of what they have or what they wear or how they say or how they talk. It's like, that is all just external like noise. It's external noise that doesn't even matter because it goes back to that fundamental, we are all humans on this planet that have the same stuff inside us. The only difference is just the where we are in the world and maybe how we look. But how we look shouldn't even be thought about. That's another external noise. Like, how we look does not mean that we're any different from each other. I think that if you were to
this is like with the word of you didn't know, archetype.
Yeah,
it is an actual word. It's an assumption of a like a group of people. Well, let's say females. The female archetype that young man might make. He might make himself
like this, a set of values, like they
and also from his previous experiences, because he can make a female archetype from a bad experience. So
that just sounds like a preconceived story.
Yeah.
God, those are dangerous.
They are
those
dangerous.
things are extremely dangerous. I mean, yeah, like I think it all goes. I mean, if you were to like prick my finger and prick everyone's finger in the world, no one's going to be bleeding. Like, everyone bleeds the same. Everyone bleeds red. Like, it's not like, I mean, even if they didn't bleed red, it doesn't change anything. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of human beings, that we all bleed the same. Why are we not considering that, like, live in more of a harmony than just this kind of external noise culture? It's very, and this is quite a big part of why that sort of thing happens. The kind of lowering of self-awareness and understanding that there are actual people in the world that have feelings.
yeah. So at the end of all of this, what will this cause? What cause will this have on our society? So, as a result, a fragile foundation for the development of business, society, and civilization.
And that's exactly what's happening in the world today. It's everything is extremely treading on eggshells. Like that whole, as it says, fragile foundation for the development of civilization. So like everything is like, this is leading to PC culture, like being politically correct.
Yes.
Like if you do not say the right thing at the right time, someone's going to get pissed off. They're going to start a group of people that agree with their values, and then it just explodes already. It's already fragile. It's already blown up, and one person just said one thing, and it's crazy that it even leads to that sort of stuff. Like, just this whole kind of wanting to always be right and never really thinking to stop and actually talk. Like, no one really talks anymore. Everyone goes straight to assumption based on archetypes, as you said. So preconceived stories, and it's kind of like a button gets pressed and like this whole list of instructions. It's like a coding program, like a flow chart. It's like person gets shot, or person gets hurt, or something happens, someone's rude to someone else. Flowchart. What has happened in the past? That person gets shunned, and like it's like it might have been a misunderstanding. We don't know, but it completely skips over reason straight to a conclusion of what should we do about it.
Yes.
So I feel like there should always be a pause for learning and understanding. Before even just going straight to like knife to throat, like what did you say to me, that sort of thing. It's way too fast.
You're offending you're offending me, then you're offending all of my
race, my friends, everything. You're offending everything. I mean, the thing is that I learned from a very wise man that you can change your state, your emotions, everything that is what you're feeling. You can change that in like a heartbeat if you wanted to. I mean, the whole thing about like if you, oh my God, I'm going to use this sort of analogy. You're walking down the street with an ice cream. You're really happy. Drop the ice cream. Immediate change in state. Like you just completely change your emotion and you immediately feel sad. Like just, but it's like that, like, but, and that's exactly why we're saying fragile foundation, because people change their emotion like a flick of a switch. Like this happened again. Okay. We have to do exactly what we did before. Not like something worse happened because of it. It's like it happened before because that is what people have done and that's what people have done.
Yes.
That's what people have done.
Yes. Okay. We're getting really fucking...
Oh, yes. Concluding remarks.
Yeah. In conclusion, I want to say an anecdote, which my father told me. So, there was this guy who had who was having his wedding day. And just before the wedding, he was all dressed up like smart and like very handsome and was very happy because it was his wedding day. And as he was walking towards the church where the wedding was supposed to happen, he was, feeling really nice. Like he's got a beautiful wife and he's just generally very happy. And he notices a machine that says, "Drop €1 to ruin your day." And so he puts €1 in the machine.
Why would you put €1 in the machine?
No, he before he puts the euro in the machine, he asks himself, what is there even that
could get any worse? Like, how could it get worse?
No. What could possibly change my state of mind that this is the best day of my life? Nothing possibly can.
Boom! I'm gonna put €1 on it. I'm betting €1 on it.
Yeah. So he puts €1 in the machine, and then a spoon full of crap comes out and drops it onto his suit.
No,
and now he has
a poop stain.
A poop stain, and he's like, "Oh shit! This is everything's ruined now."
Everything.
So
complete change of state.
So next to that machine is another machine that says, change your mood for the better or whatever.
Yeah. Change it for the best.
Change it for the best. For €1. He drops, he thinks to himself, there isn't anything that
can get any worse.
there isn't anything that can make my day any better.
Oh, I see. I got you.
He drops the euro in the machine. A shovel full of crap comes out and swishes it on to the ongoing pedestrians on the street. And immediately his day is gotten brighter. Because everyone
has the problem. Oh my God. That's a good anecdote.
Yes.
I mean, right.
Okay.
Yes. This is a very good video that we've learned a lot of things from. If you want to watch it for yourself, it is in Russian, but you can put in English subtitles. We'll put that into the description. We learned a lot from it.
Yes.
Yes. So we will like to finish, and basically say goodbye.
See you later.
From Jamie and Janis.
See you later.
Bye. Wow, that was a long